want to leave this thought. You said, what would I tell people? What's the one thing I would suggest? And it really is awareness. I'm teaching it's like a 1 hour, 4-week class to alumni at the college. It's called Rethink AI's Role in Your Life. And of course, I suspected I'd get all these people who are going to join and be in the conversation of what's wrong with it and why it shouldn't be in education and how it's ruining our, ruining our lives and taking our jobs and doing all these things. But I learned that the more people become aware of what it's capable of doing, and it's not this big AI umbrella, but even a tool like ChatGPT, what it can help you do. I don't know about you, but I do probably know of how many times a day you probably use ChatGPT or a tool for something simple, just the simplest, even a search.
I don't Google anymore. I can't
Yeah,
even remember like
exactly.
the last time I Googled anything.
That's actually the first step of awareness is when you start comparing and realizing the type of search you get from ChatGPT or any of the, Claude or Perplexity or whatever tool your preference is versus a Google search. Although Google searches are certainly advanced with their AI, but it just takes you to another level and go, oh, I didn't know it can do this. And then you sort of, well, how it's not giving me the right answer. If ChatGPT is not giving you the right answer, it's one of two reasons. Either it's not in their database, which is highly unlikely, but it's possible depending on the level of search. It's generally because you're not doing the search correctly, which was no different than how we were with Google and how people still are with Google, is if you didn't understand Boolean search, if you didn't understand, when you just put text up there, when you should use apostrophes, when you should use a plus sign. If you didn't understand how to properly ask for the search, you got back information that was sometimes okay, sometimes, even looking for a local restaurant. You got restaurants that popped up 100 and 200 miles away. And then all of a sudden that you search, when you really can define your prompt better, your search better, you got exactly what you wanted. That may be the productization of service. Is for a short time, because AI, if people understand that you can actually ask ChatGPT to help you write a better prompt, like here's what I'm trying to ask you, how would you write it better? And it does it better, and then you say, okay, that sounds good, like run it, and it comes and the results come out so much better, so much improved. But right now is people, there's a limited amount of people, a small percentage of people considering the population, that are using ChatGPT. There's even a much smaller percentage that are using, and I'll say generative AI broadly, that are using it well. And I would say for the next 4 or 5 years, it's probably the business people could be in, or a service within an organization, a job within an organization, make yourself more valuable, is going to be, teach people how to write better prompts.
That's what I was trying to explain to that gentleman last night in the purchasing, is like, this could be your opportunity to move forward in the company. Like if they're not utilizing AI right now, is you can be that leader. This is an opportunity where we're pretty much all starting from the same place. This has only been around a couple of years. It's not like, obviously I say it's a couple of years, but for the majority of the public, when ChatGPT was released, I think in like January of 2 years ago or so.
November 2020.
Okay, there you go. So it hasn't been that long. We still have that opportunity. It still seems to me, for those of you who are old enough that remember the beginning of the internet, there was like one guy in every town who created web pages because he was like really into it, because there was no school for it at the time. We're at the same kind of level playing field, and it's your opportunity to be able to ask the questions, to be able to just experiment and move forward and start just question everything.
Yeah. Going through my mind as you were sharing that is that somebody says, well, I'm sort of using it. If that's the attitude that continues for, let's say, the next 5 years, and all of a sudden that somebody says, we need to have somebody younger, which is really not the right solution, but we need to have somebody younger who understands how to use this technology. How do we use AI? And all of a sudden, the person that's in that position, that has many years of experience on the job, really a good employee, loyal employee, all of a sudden finds themselves seeing their way out the door. They find themselves getting pushed out, not because of their age and not because the job is being phased out, but because they didn't seize that moment. They didn't see that opportunity to not replace themselves with AI, but to use AI as an assistant. I hear this every now and then I forget it, but I just started the other day, so I'll put this out. We really shouldn't be talking about AI as artificial intelligence. It's really augmented intelligence. There was this big study that just came out that people will read, and they'll jump on it and go, see, ChatGPT is making us dumber. And when you looked at the study, there was a really good report yesterday by Ethan Mollick from Wharton, University of Pennsylvania, who gave a great explanation of this. And he said what they did was they looked at students doing a quiz on ChatGPT versus not doing, and they saw the using an MRI, they saw the parts of the brain light up on when they were doing themselves, and they weren't lighting up when they did ChatGPT. And they said, oh, it's damaging our brain. No, it wasn't it didn't do any damage to the brain. It just didn't use those parts at that time. That people who use ChatGPT as a default, as the answer, it's like, oh, I'm just going to go there and have it write my paper, or I'm going to go there and have it do my formulas and my spreadsheets and my presentations. When there was no thought put into it, well, yeah, eventually you'll probably become dumber. It won't be, it's not going to do damage. You're just not going to become smarter. You're not going to learn anything. You're not going to have thought through the process. So is using it to augment our own abilities. I've become a much better writer. And also my curiosity has improved. It is what should I be asking to get a better answer? How do I develop that skill in itself? And the way I did that was not by using ChatGPT, but by asking ChatGPT is, how do you improve my skill? How do you improve my prompt? And explain to me how you got there. Explain to me how you did that. What was missing? So it's helped me improve my own skills, but it didn't replace my skills. I still come up with the concept. I come up with the idea. I take the output. I then refine it for